It's Wednesday, and tonight is the Contrarians live chat. The topic tonight, album covers that break the fourth wall. So without any further ado, let's get this started. Holy crap, welcome to the Contrarians. It's Wednesday. It's the Wednesday live chat. I want to welcome the panel. I want to welcome everybody who's already tuned in. We've got 18 people, but you know, more will show.
Spoiler, I see one of my albums up there.
Oh, crap.
Right.
See, that's what happens when you have no...
I'm glad I picked 11. I'm glad I picked 11.
Hey, we'll start off with that one. Anyway, so that's a fail. Anyway, welcome everybody. We're going to get started, and I'm going to throw it over to Martin but he's taking off his sweatshirt.
Absolutely. We're getting serious here.
Martin is going to get serious.
Right.
He's going to explain what we're going to talk about. So everybody in the chat, we will want to hear from you. And if you have any examples, please throw them out there. Okay, Martin, go ahead and tell.
Yeah, so I thought this was a pretty cool idea. I mean, it was a little hard to do, and I know we've talked about some of these album covers before, but we're going to talk about them in a different way. So the idea of breaking the fourth wall, I think of that in two definitions, right? When you're watching Saturday Night Live and some guest starts laughing, right? It's like, okay, we've broken, obviously something screwed up here. It isn't the audience watching just this. They're laughing in it, the same sort of thing. So that's one version. The main version, I think, or the main definition of that is when you're at a theater play and someone turns and talks directly to the audience kind of thing. That's breaking the fourth wall too, right? So I hope I got that right. But I mean, essentially the idea here is that, crowd participation or audience or buyer participation in the album cover. Is the buyer needed to complete the album cover? Is there some sort of interaction? What's going on here? Is the cover, I thought of, when we were making notes to this, I thought a really neat example was, are there any album covers where there's an underline and somebody's got to put in the title and then we couldn't think of one of those, right? And I went, what does Blank Generation by Richard Hell and the Voidides show, right? But it's actually just called Blank Generation. So I think we've got some neat examples of just different ways that there just seems to be some extra communication between the buyer and the album cover versus just like, I'm holding a piece of art here kind of thing. So that's the idea.
Yeah. Sounds awesome. So we're going to get started. And I want to say that Peter Kerr was supposed to be here. We have his lists, but he had to drop out. We will cover what he prepared for tonight. So it's almost like he's here. Well, kind of. Anyway, but this is the order we're going to go. And we're going to go Todd Evans, Jamie Laszlo, Martin, and then myself. And then we'll pretend we're Peter Kerr. And I forget what we're going to go 3, 3, and 4.
Yeah. Let's do
3, 3, and 4, gentlemen. All right, so let's get started. Todd Evans, let's throw it over to you.
Okay, so the first two I'm going to show, I've talked about before in different contexts, but this is Elder's Innate Passage from either last year or the year before, 2022, the year before, and it's die cut and it's got a hole in the middle, but so like there's one way you can look at it. Every sleeve has a different picture on both sides. So you can make it look like that, or you can make it look like that, or, the fourth one is almost the same, but a little bit different. So you can change it based on your mood, I suppose. So, you can see what it looks like in the picture there, and that's a different one.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. The other one that I've talked about before is Death Cab for Cutie, Thank You for Today. It has this mirrored part in the middle, but if you pull the inner sleeve out and flip it around, the first picture is clouds, and the second picture is water. So you can just kind of flip it around if you want to, depending on how you're feeling that day. And then the third one in this group is really kind of low-hanging fruit. Everybody knows this one, but Led Zeppelin 3. With a little dial that you can turn, so you can make it look a little bit different every time you look at it.
Yeah. Cool. Wicked.
Excellent. All right.
All right. Let me just take a quick gander over to the comments here because we've got 50 watching already, which is a fast amount for the start of the show. So that's really cool. Steve Poleri says every gatefold in the 70s where you sifted the pot seeds was audience participation. Yeah, absolutely. Kansas
It would be a really long list.
Yeah, I won't
a
read
long
too many of
list.
these. Yeah, let's not read too many of these yet because I can imagine a bunch of these are going to be coming up. So apologies, guys, but we'll keep coming back to the comments as we go. But let's go over to Jamie.
All right.
All right. I just got home from work an hour ago with a new laptop that IT gave me. So if I'm freezing up, this laptop is, getting the cobwebs out. So I apologize.
You're doing good.
All right.
All right.
Good. I think you do. You look good.
Audience participation on the first one. Finish the album cover. The Who by numbers.
Exactly. Great choice.
We'll give you the faces. You get your pencil out. And I wonder the percentage of these made. How many have, 10%, 15%? I don't know. That would be.
I see them in the record store all the time.
Yeah. And the used band, they're all already marked up.
Yeah. I saw one a couple of days ago where somebody had colored in their faces and their shirt and their pants.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. You've already defaced it. Why not just finish it? Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with, you can pick any Tool album. I've showed these so many times before. I'm going to go with Anima. I believe that's how you say it. I remember when I first saw this in the record store, I'm like, I think that CD is following me. I think those eyes are looking at me. So yeah, I went with Anima because and it's like the Elder, there's different cards in here you can put that will move for you, different things. It's just not the eyes. There's about 7 cards in there you can flip around.
Yeah.
My next one's low hanging fruit. What's that?
No, I was going to say I picked that up like for $1, and I have never opened it up to see if there were cards. I didn't know that did that.
Yeah, and they're all perforated. I ripped them.
Oh,
so
I'll have to check it out now. Okay. Well. All right, what's your number 3?
Led Zeppelin, like the Elder album. You can choose who you want in the window. And this is my nice near mint Belgium pressing. So I just wanted to show that. And I also have this really cool deluxe CD version with extra tracks on it and 3 discs. And it has different things with the discs and everything. This is one of my cooler CDs I own, I think. And I bought it for $3.
Yeah.
So those are my first 3.
Buy low, kids. Buy low. There you go.
It's funny. That album cover is probably the top album cover that people think Hypnosis did, but they didn't, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. It does look like a Hypnosis cover. You would think they would have done it. But,
yeah.
Did they ever do die cuts, though? I don't think they did die cuts.
Oh, I bet we could find some.
I bet you they did.
Okay.
All right, Martin, I guess you're up.
Okay, so my first one is Alice Cooper, Muscle of Love, which, again, I don't have a physical copy of, but I do have my box for my Queen box of tricks. So I can just play it on Spotify or play my, where did it go here? I've got my, I've got my my Russian bootleg of it that's got 2 albums on it, kind of thing. So yeah, I could just put this aside and play it on Spotify or whatever. But the whole idea here was that it's the album cover is actually inside. So this isn't the album cover. What is the album cover? Is it this? Is it what's inside? The stain was printed on it and people thought it was stained. The record rackers didn't like this because it took up too much space. So it caused all sorts of problems. Plus it was just expensive anyways, kind of thing. So that's my first one. My second one is the one we used for our cover graphic there, Gamma 2. And the interesting thing about this, I have my Gamma 1 here as well, because I wanted to show this. The cool thing, this is Mick Haggerty did this. And I actually looked up Mick Haggerty, and he's still alive. And he started doing artwork in the early 70s. I think he did Blackfoot, No Reservations, a bunch of other really cool things. So he's an illustrator, designer and all that. Be a good interview at some point because he's got a long list of stuff he's done. But this is a really cool one where it's not so much that this one breaks any sort of fourth wall, but the back certainly does, where you've got the idea of we've ripped the album cover and we're pointing to the songs and where they are located in there. And he also did Gamma 1, where there's nothing breaking the fourth wall about this, but he did also another nifty looking little here's the songs, and there's where they are on the album. You know, and I bet he's accurately got the you know, the lines there splitting up for side 1, side 2. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw Gamma 2 as our thumbnail, I was like, I don't get it. Someone's gonna have to explain that one to me. I didn't know the back.
Yeah, other than obviously this is, you know, mixing of land and water, and you know, there's obviously an incongruity there or whatever. But and this one feels very much just like the ripped back cover of Gamma 2, where you know, you've got, you know, what is the album cover? Is the album cover what existed before it got ripped? You know, by this this very comely lady, obviously, with her painted fingernails there, or is the cover, you know, the version with the ripped cover? And it's very accurately done. And I always thought it was kind of interesting that even the way the tubes is on there looks like it could have been applied on the album cover, and it's not literally part of the album cover because it's so realistic, right? So yeah, I always thought that was a good one as well. And that is my first 3. Let's just go over here. I'm just going to go from memory here in the comments on what maybe isn't part of anybody's list. We got Velvet Underground and Nico, self-titled, says Werner Moritz, Alice in Chains, The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here, Velvet Underground and Nico, Rolling Stones, Sticky Fingers. I think that one has come up. Yes, Time in a Word. Is that for the reason, D Rocker, because Steve Howe isn't on it, but he's on the album cover? You know,
or are you talking about the UK version?
Oh yeah, or that one, yeah, with the you know, the optical illusion, sort of the vertigo kind of thing. That is something that Hypnosis actually did a lot of times, where they played with perspective and stuff, right? Let's see. Jethro Tull Stormwatch. Not sure how that one works. Maybe D Rocker, you can explain. From the Inside is going to be coming up a little bit. Love those Gamma records. All right, over to Peter in the guise of Grant.
Yeah, I guess I'll take his first.
Okay.
Well, wow. Okay. Now I don't have anything to show for these, but so you're just going to have to bear with me.
Okay.
First one Peter had was Grand Funk Shining On 1974, and that's got the 3D cover.
Yeah.
So if you take the insert out, well, how did that work? Did it actually have 3D glasses? Does anybody remember?
Sure. But I guess with the way it breaks 3D. The wall, yeah,
it breaks the wall.
It's either not 3D or 3D, depending on whether you got the glasses.
And it's just amazing how much money Capitol Records pumped into every Grand Funk album. Every album was exception, you know, the cover, the artwork was all really good, and they pumped in a lot of money into these guys. It's just crazy. Peter, Mungo Jerry, and I don't know what we were going for.
I think that's die cut.
Maybe it's die cut.
It might be
it looks kind of 3D, like it's jumping out at you.
Yeah, because I think this is like the Australian import. This
I thought he said something.
He did say something, but I don't remember what he said.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that as well.
Anyway, we'll come back.
It would break the fourth wall.
Mungo came with 3D glasses, first press.
Okay, there you go. There it is.
I almost think it breaks the fourth
Came with
wall
3D glasses, Mungo.
if you think it's die cut and it's not die cut.
Right.
Yeah, so that
they fooled you.
Right.
Number 3 from Peter Kerr was Three Dog Night, Hard Labor, 1974, and this had various album covers in different countries. But this is the one with the Band-Aid cover.
Yeah, the American version of that had a file folder that folded over the Band-Aid cover, and when you opened the file folder, it told you the story of this mutant baby and how much it weighed, and that it had claws instead of fingers and stuff like that. And then you could tear it off, and it would reveal that, or you could just flip it over. I wish I still had that.
Wow.
I had it for years.
Wow, that's extensive.
Yeah.
Another band where they were pumping money into the album covers. So that was his 3. My number 1, I'm going to go with Dave Mason, Alone Together, which here's the cover, but you flip this dog open and you can hang Dave up.
Oh, okay.
On whatever you want. And the other thing that's cool about this record is if you have a first pressing, and I don't know how many of these they pressed, but since we're looking at it, it's marbleized.
Cool.
Very, very cool. So
Nice.
that's my first one. Throw that over there. My second one, I know Martin has brought this up before, and I don't XTC, the 3D EP.
Right.
And I believe, Martin, when we were talking about that before, I think we were saying that this did come with 3D glasses, didn't it, back in the day?
Yeah, I can't remember.
It must have been, because if you flip it around, I should have put the other side up too. It's much more 3D, but this is the front cover.
We have that on our Checks and Patterns show. I
do believe so.
Mm-hmm.
My number 3, everybody should know this one, the Rolling Stones Some Girls. And we remember back in the day, this was all die cut, and Lucille Ball's face was in there. She had a cow, lawsuit, redesigned the cover. But this would pull out and you could flip it around and put it back in and change the faces. So that was one of the that was a great one. But
very cool.
Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
That's my 3, ladies and gentlemen. So we're over to Todd.
Yeah. Hang on, let me check
let's
got Rainbow Rising, Straight Between the Eyes, says D Rocker. I'm not sure how those ones fit either. Let's see. Did they mention the original Sabbath, the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper, with all the celebrities to identify? I guess it's crowd participation on that one. Triumph Just a Game's kind of an interesting one, says D Rocker, because you actually could play it like a game, which is kind of neat. Anthrax, Sound of White Noise, Rush Counterparts, all first editions with jewel case with something printed on them. Yeah, that's interesting as well. The screw and all that. I told you about my Matt Kramer War and Peace that had little P's in the thing before. All right, let's go over to Todd.
Okay, well, I really wish I had this one to show everybody. I don't currently have a vinyl copy of it, but it's spectacular. It's Parliament's Motor Booty Affair. Mm-hmm. And the inside of this record, it was a gatefold and it folded out. I don't have it with me, but I have a picture of it. I don't know how well you can see that, but it was like an underwater city that popped up when you opened it. And then there was a sheet of cardboard that had all the band members as cartoons, and you punched them out and they had little stands. And so you made like the stand, like, making it like an X, and you could put all the people on the cover in front of the Emerald City or whatever that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be Atlantis. What it says on here is, we got to raise Atlantis to the top. So that one's really cool. I wish I had it, but if you ever see one of those, pick it up. Yep. It's a great record and it's fun to play with. My next one is this one was me grasping at straws, but Def Leppard Retroactive. It's a photograph, and then if you back up and squint your eyes, it's a skull. So which is it? Is it a photograph of a woman looking in a mirror, or is it a skull? And then the next one I had is another 3D one. Stone Temple Pilots Live 2018 came with 3D glasses, and so it looks different. It looks one way without the 3D glasses, and then different when you put the glasses on. And I think the back cover also you could look at through the glasses.
Nice. Wow, that's pretty cool.
All right. Let's see. We got a mention for Gene Simmons, The Vault, Gentle. Cut out giant mask on the cover. Let's see. Partridge Family Crossword Puzzle. Yeah, nice one, Mick. That's pretty cool. Metallica 72 Seasons. Jethro Tull Stand Up is the same as that one. D Rocker is mentioning Ronnie Montrose Territory. Kiss Double Platinum, would that count? Kind of, because that kind of fits with my next one, which I forgot to take a copy of. But all right, let's go. Well, let's not go over to Jamie because he's gone.
You can go with me.
He's back in the
right
vault doing research.
He's running. There he is. All right, over to Jamie.
Oh my God.
You know what? Someone said Stormwatch by Jethro Tull. I guess he is kind of looking right at you.
Oh yeah. Okay.
In a way.
Oh yeah, he is.
That's a good point.
I guess it's not a total.
That is breaking the wall in the classic sense, right?
That would work.
Yeah.
Acknowledging the audience, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I went with the Velvet Underground and Nico. Okay. But I have the CD. Okay. I have never seen the album where you peel it. I've never seen an original copy.
I've seen it. Only partially
I'm
peeled.
sure intact or very expensive.
Yeah.
I tell you what, before the show, I was playing this for the first time in many a year. So that's the whole reason why we do this show, for me anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blow the
But
dust off these albums.
But back in the day, they thought that there was something dirty under the banana, but there wasn't.
Yeah.
Just a banana.
Man, I got a whole
No,
Velvet
Banana's
Underground
dirty
box
enough as
set.
it
I
is,
got
I
that
think.
box set, and I play it every once in a while. Like, I got to get into these guys. They're supposed to be great. I just never can, right? I just never find anything that I'm really thrilled about.
It's okay. I
Yeah.
understand the importance, but it's just okay to me.
Well, the thing
Big
is, they
influence on
weren't
other bands.
exactly, and what they were doing, no one else was doing at the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I was
completely listening to it today.
Yeah. I was just.
I was listening to it today, thinking, I bet you the Violent Femmes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I have a delay, don't I? I have a delay.
I don't know.
You have
Go
frozen
ahead.
a couple times.
We seem to be off today. I don't know what it is, but everything seems to be off. But
It's
okay.
my new laptop, man. I knew this new laptop was going to suck. That's what I told IT.
All right.
All right. What's your number 5?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Rare Earth in concert. It's a backpack. Put it on your back.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Go hiking.
Yeah.
Carry it
And
around with you.
it tells you, it has instructions.
Yeah.
Pool there. So anything that has instructions to tell you what to do.
Nice.
I was stretching it on that one.
I do have a question for
And,
Jimmy. What year is this
my next
laptop from? Because it's like a
It's brand
Windows
new.
machine from. What are they buying?
I knew it was going to lag. I knew it.
Wow.
I told it
All
to you.
right,
I got
go
a
ahead.
show tonight. This thing has got to work. It'll work.
That's what they
It's
always
probably
say.
trying to download updates in the background. It'll work great next time.
It's actually a good point. Yeah.
I know. It's getting the bugs out. I know. This next one is like 3D. I never knew it was 3D for years and years and years and years and years. I was like, it's not a cutout. Like cutouts when they were cheap. Why did they do that? And then I joined like a vinyl community on Facebook 7 years ago, and where you just take a picture of your album and post it. And I took a picture of this and posted it. And on my post on my phone, I said, "Oh my God, it's a box." I didn't know until I saw the picture of my album. It didn't hit me. So, yeah.
It looks like one of those videos with VR glasses where you look at it and you start going and you start swaying and then you fall, your head falls into the TV, basically, right?
It's kind of a trippy cover.
Yeah.
But wasn't
Yes.
what was the other album? What was the other Traffic album? It had the same kind of cut too.
Yeah, there was another die cut one, I think,
What was
right?
the other one? Oh,
I can't think
someone
of
in
it.
the
Was
in
there?
the comments will know. Yeah.
All right, so my next 3. Look at yourself, your eye heap. I didn't pull a copy yet. I just forgot about it. But basically, obviously, the viewer completes the album cover by looking into the mirror in the standard old English kind of standing mirror thing. And then I guess there are eyes looking at you as well, watching you do this. So I guess this does it in 2 ways. Next, I've got David Bowie, The Next Day. And I read up a little bit on this today. The designer is Jonathan Barnbrook, and it's to evoke a feeling of isolation. They were, he recorded this in complete secrecy, right? Everybody thought, is he done kind of thing. And what Jonathan says is they tried every single David Bowie album cover and did some sort of different defacing to it, almost like in the spirit of Andy Warhol, I guess. But they like this one because it created the right kind of distance, and Heroes was an iconic album cover. But I just thought this breaks the fourth wall. It breaks all kinds of rules. It's just very cheeky what they did with this. And I think it looks cool. The label thought it was a joke, or no, Tony Visconti, thought it was a joke when he saw it the first time, but that is the final. And then I guess in the David Bowie is, I don't remember seeing this, but they had a bunch of the different variants that they didn't use. That show was unreal. I was in there for 3 hours seeing that thing here in Toronto when it came through. The big museum show, right? Of all the memorabilia and stuff. And my last one of this batch is System of a Down Steal This Album. So that's one version. I think I read up on this too, and this is a lot more complicated. I didn't know all this, but apparently, I guess that's the UK version. Number one, this is like leftovers from Toxicity. So it's their third album, but it's a little bit of a short album. There's obviously the reference to Steal This Book. Is it Abby Hoffman that did that? But anyways, I think that's the UK cover. And then what they did is they have different ones for the different band members that they doodled on, kind of thing. And this one is, mine is Shavos. So that's a little doodle of his on red, and then I think there's a blue and so yeah, the other thing about this, the way it breaks the fourth wall, there is no booklet, and it gets you wondering, where's my booklet, kind of thing. So, is it the album cover?
Where's my book?
It looks like a burned CD.
Yeah, and then the back's like that, and I've got one coming up even more so like that as we go. But so that is my next one. And before we go over to Grant acting as Peter, let's see what else we've got here. We've got Queen the Game, which is like the one I just did, says Jen, and that's absolutely correct. We've got REM Monster, Do It Yourself by Ian Dury. I can't picture that one. I've got a really good Ian Dury book that I've been reading. It's really cool. Let's see. All right, over to Grant for Peter's next three.
Up next for Peter, he had John Lennon, Walls and Bridges. I don't think I've ever owned this on vinyl, but I do remember that all those flaps looks like it's set up in threes. They all flip open.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's cool.
All I've got's the CD now, but
I've never seen that
one
before.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years.
Cool.
For Peter, he had number 5. He had the monkey's head, which looks like a mirror. You can see yourself.
Yeah.
I was trying to pull mine, but damn it, I couldn't find it.
That's a really good graphic. I've never seen a graphic before that actually shows what it really looks like.
That's what it really looks like. So, but you can look at yourself.
I've never seen that album. Wow.
The original records, I forget what they had used, but they would wear really badly. And then the Rhino reissues that they did like in the 80s, they weren't as good as the original Cold Gems that they did back in the day.
Yeah.
But if you find an original,
is that a soundtrack to the movie?
Cool. Well, kinda. Yeah. All right. Number 6 from Peter is The Sport, Suddenly. And I can't tell you what this is about, but I think this is all die cut from what I can gather. And you can take the inner sleeve out and change images.
Put a different picture behind it. Yeah.
Well, I guess you're kind of like voyeuristically looking into the album cover in a way too, right?
Yeah.
From
correct.
the outside kind of thing.
Yeah. All right, this is mine, ladies and gentlemen. This is kind of like the monkey's head. Grand Funk were an American band, though this image doesn't look as great, but I think this was practically a mirror as well back in the day, from what I remember. Again,
they're probably just saying we're gold, but the deeper meaning would be, if you reflect into it, it's like, no, you're the band. The audience completes the band. We need the audience there to make us a band.
It sounds good to me.
There's a lot of albums that had mirrors on the cover. I didn't realize that. I guess you could open them up and do your weed and then close it and do cocaine off the front as a mirror.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is whole drug related. That's all this is about. All right, my number 5 is The Who live at Leeds. This is an original Decca pressing, which is great because it comes up with all this loot, Yeah. Here's the Action Limited. This is how much they got paid for gigs. You've got the contract for Woodstock and your records on this side. It's a lot of fun. They really, considering the Who at that time really didn't really make any money on anything. Seems like they pumped a lot into it. So that's my number 5. My number 6, we're going to go with Crosby, Stills, and Nash Young, Deja Vu. You've got that hand-tooled leather look, the picture, kind of sends you back into another time when I look at it. That's what I think. You're looking at some kind of archaeological, something from the Civil War.
Kind of like a photo album, but it's also almost kind of like the old 1930s albums. The albums where you had to stick a whole bunch of records into it to make an album, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that they used an antique camera on this, like from the Civil War era when they took the picture. So, Pretty cool. All right, so that's my 3. So
That's all yours. All
that's
right.
all mine.
Let's just see what else we got going here. We got Thin Lizzy self-titled, Yellow, Out of the Blue, Alice Cooper School's Out. Yeah, it's probably going to be explained a little later on. Live at Lee's Classic. Let's see. Included with the original Another Monty Python record vinyl were 3 cards inserted, printed in detailed instruction scripts and cutout props for, there is a great Monty Python one that fits this concept perfectly. That one that's, you guys might remember it. It's like a classical album cover, and then it's got crayon all over it, like stuff crossed out, and probably Monty Python. So that's a good one where you've taken an album cover and defaced it. It's almost as deep as the David Bowie one, right? White Album's coming, No Code as well. Sticky Fingers is coming out. Vitalogy. All right, over to Todd.
Okay, well, this got mentioned in the comments, and it's a classic. ELP's Brain Salvage Surgery. And the funny thing about this one is I didn't have a copy of this, so I got one this week. And I think that it's just perfect that this one it's bent right there and it's torn right there, because that's what always happens to it. But it's kind of like, is this the cover? Or is that the cover? Or is that the cover? And then when you open it up, there's lots of stuff to play with while you listen to it. That's the record. Hang on. I'm going to try not to damage it even more by pulling all this stuff out. The poster is also die cut, so it unfolds, and like you can see Keith there behind the and then if you do this, there they are.
There they are.
Cover them
I don't
up.
think I've ever seen that.
I don't think I've ever seen the poster.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was just like a limited time they had the poster. There's Greg there peeking through.
Wow.
Peeking through.
Yeah, that was always a fun one, but it always gets mangled. And speaking of things that get mangled, Styx Cornerstone,
notorious.
Another one. Is that the cover, or is this the cover? And then the cool thing about this one is on the inside, the photographs and the lyrics are on the inside like this. And then this one right here, you could just take this and toss it in recycling if you wanted to, because this cover has a spine that says Styx Cornerstone, so you could also make this the cover if you wanted to.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they started out making it shiny like this, and then I guess there was a limited time when they could spend that much money, because I've seen some that are just gray on the inside.
I've seen some of the later ones. Yeah.
And then I've got Oh No, It's Devo, and this is a fun one because you sort of think of the cover as being those 5 guys as spuds, but then Mark is on the outside holding that up, like going, "Hey, isn't this such a weird cover? Hey, look, I look weird too."
Yeah, that is good. Yeah.
And then if you flip it over, it has a little easel thing, like you can pull out, kind of like the back of a picture frame. You can pull out and pull the little flap down and stand it up. I wish I had one to show, but
I know I tried to find it, but I couldn't find it. But yeah, it just has a little easel. You can just set it right there on a desk or whatever. So it's kind of cool.
Like it's a piece of art. And I saved my favorite for last. This is a CD. This is a remarkably entertaining indie band, Guster. And the cool thing about this one is I hope that you can see what happens. So you flip this out, and then when you do this, it hands you the CD.
Wow.
So like it goes like that, and then there's the CD, and the CD's black, which is cool. And then when you put it in, see, it's got that little flap there, and then when you put it in, it doesn't go in all the way. But when you close it, it takes it the rest of the way.
How cool is that?
That is cool.
That's one of my faves.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's interesting you bring up these ones with, because ZZ Top de Guayo was also a perfectly bona fide cover within a cover, right? Kind of thing. And then there are other ones. I swear I've seen ones where they get really sneaky with the whole, mischievous with the whole. We really can't tell what the front or back cover is, because they've actually even put the whole, record company and date information on both sides. And then you think a side version of that is also these covers where you can't tell which is up or down. The vertical looks like it should be on the side, and you have to go to the spine to figure out what the side is, right? And then also we know there are covers that have the slot at the top And that confuses you sometimes too, right? So sometimes you don't, again, you got to find that spine to figure out, okay, well, this slot, it doesn't go in like this. It's supposed to go in like this or whatever. So yeah,
Danzig 3 is like that.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's a
slots in
Matthew
the weird
Sweet
place.
album called In Reverse, where the CD booklet is upside down. So in order to make it look right, you have to put it in backwards. And then the booklet goes back to front. So
Yeah.
the lyrics
Yeah.
for the last song are on the first song are on the last page.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I wish I thought of that.
Yeah. Cool.
Just the way it goes.
All right. So over to Jamie.
Yeah, the buffer man. Just call me the buffer man because I'm buffering.
He's constantly
All
buffering.
right.
All right, I'm ready for you.
Bob Marley. People like to smoke a little something when they listen to Bob Marley. Some people do. Well, Bob Marley's saying, "Let me supply the lighter."
And there it is.
And wait a minute, there's no smoke. This is smoke-colored vinyl that rises up behind it.
Wow.
So
Oh, cool.
that's kind of a cool.
Very cool.
I think the original pressing back in the day had the lighter. I don't think it had the smoke-colored vinyl. That was just for Record Store Day a few years ago. So I'm careful with that one. Next one, Death Magnetic by Metallica. Instead of 3D coming at you, it's 3D going in. And as you dig down into the grave, it's almost like Presence by Led Zeppelin, how they incorporate the one symbol into other things. It could be someone's mouth, it could be coffin, it could be whatever. So, what do you think of this album, Martin? You a fan?
Yeah, I thought it was
Death
pretty cool. I
Magnetic.
mean, this is
like
the
that
one
album?
that had that recording problem, right? I mean, it's a little bit red line or distorted.
Yeah, and I think like the Guitar Hero version sounded better or something like that. There was something weird going on like that. Focus 3, which is a die cut,
Mhm.
but you can't pull out the guys. They're just behind there jamming. And it's kind of like, what was this, 1972?
72,
Something like
yeah.
that. If Tool was out in 1972, they probably would have done something like that, where you control the light show on Focus 3, but it looks but it doesn't. You just move it, and it's still got the hype sticker from back in the day, and it was $1.99 at some store.
Yeah, probably a
Focus
cutout.
3.
Yeah.
You know, I picked In a Glass House by Gentle Giant, but I think someone said Giant for a Day, and I like that one better. You cut out the
Yes.
thing and you make it a mask.
Yeah.
That's better than mine, where I picked this one, where this is a UK pressing, where it's a window and you pull out the people from behind the people. So you got a little motion there, three-dimensional
Oh,
type thing
Oh,
going
that's
on.
cool.
And
I don't think I knew
my
that.
last one is this. We've all seen this album 1,000 times. And I almost forgot about picking this one, but they are literally painting the Chicago logo for you as they fall, kind of like the Keystone Cops, and they're looking at you for help. Help us, we're falling.
Yeah.
So Chicago Greatest Hits. What is it? Show
Nice.
9 Greatest Hits.
Nice.
So
Makes
Perfect sense. Excellent.
I have one
Excellent.
honorable mention, but
Sure.
I was thinking we could do what do you think for Easter if we do album covers with Easter eggs, like hidden meanings in them and stuff?
Oh,
Because if we do that, I'm going to save this one for that show.
Okay.
So
That's
With
actually a
hidden
pretty good idea.
meaning.
We'll
I
discuss
might
that
save it.
after. Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
hidden
Cool.
meanings. Okay.
Cool. Okay. So that was your final. So now I'm down to my final 4, right?
Yeah.
So, Kanye West, Yeezus. This one, we've got it in the car. My son bought this as one of his first CDs for years ago, and it used to just drive me crazy because it has no jewel case at all of any sort. It's literally just the CD in there. I don't think there's any printing on it too, and it's even hard to figure out which side is the side that you're supposed to stick into the CD player. So you might stick it in upside down and almost maybe get it jammed in there, and then that red thing on there. It's like a weird sticker, and I think those even came in different colors and stuff. So that's an odd one.
How'd you know the name of the songs?
So
yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Is there at least some text on these? I can't remember if there's anything.
There's text around the outer perimeter, but I don't think it lists any song titles. I think it's just like
it's weird.
Copyright info. But so Martin, you've heard this Kanye West album?
Oh yeah.
And
when it was a new release back to 2013, right?
Well,
I was getting into some of this stuff at the time. It was wildly entertaining, right? He was cutting edge, and it was a big deal at the time. This was a huge hit album back then, right?
My son thinks Kanye West as an artist for what he does and where he is in the industry is absolutely brilliant. I don't know. I could never get into it. I was just curious what you thought of it.
I think he's a little nutty.
And he's
exactly.
nuts, but
there's mental illness there too. We know that. So
it could be brilliant. Martin's reviewed a lot of things. He might be able to look at this and go, "Yeah, I can see the brilliance in this." But I don't know. Just
Kendrick Lamar too. I mean, he had those CDs, and we played those, and they're brilliant too. I mean, there's a lot to be said for tons of that stuff, right? Yeah. What is it, Dre 2000? We used to play that over and over and over again. Eminem CDs, right? Yeah.
There's a lot.
All right. So my next choice is a perfect one of these. This absolutely breaks the fourth wall in a brilliant way. This is Rush's moving pictures. So they're how does this work? So they're shooting a moving picture, and the camera's even shooting a moving picture, and these guys are moving pictures, and those are moving pictures because people are crying looking at the pictures, and there's a moving of there's a moving going on, and a movie going on, and blah blah blah. So this absolutely is various layers of looking at what's going on in that scene. Pink Floyd Amagama, don't have a copy of that, but again, this is that Droste effect where it's a picture within a picture within a picture. So it's sort of like Rush moving pictures. And in this, the guys are moved around. I think in one version at the very end, you see Saucer Full of Secrets. So that's a cool one. Again, fourth wall crowd participation. And then my last one is Led Zeppelin In Through the Outdoor, where, the couple of things, is that the cover, or is that the cover? Or is one of the other 6 views of this bar scene the cover, right? So you never feel like you own the cover unless you have all of them, I suppose, right? To be complete and say I really own this album and I own all the versions of you got to own all of them, right? There's the thing on the back, and I've told you the story. It blew me away that they shot all this, they took no video of it, then they picked up all this stuff as soon as they were done with the photo shoot and just tossed it in a dumpster. It was all over with. This is a recreation of a New Orleans bar done in England by Hypnosis, right? Then of course you've got that in there. Yeah, there's even more crowd participation.
Watercolor.
So this is either this is part of the album cover at completely black and white, but with the crowd participation of the wedding, that stuff, it turns colors. So that one's got it on multiple levels. The only honorable mentions I had is I had this one, which relates to the gamma and the tubes. It's a ripping of the album cover, or which is the album cover, before it's ripped or after it's ripped, with the big hole in it, razor's edge. Doesn't look like it's been cut with a razor. It looks like it's more or less it's been ripped. And what I forgot to put in here that no one's got is I was going to include it was April Wine on Record, which is just a picture of a record on the album cover. So it looks like the record's on the outside of the thing. And where did the cover go? So that fits a little bit in the category of System of a Down, Steal This Album, and the Kanye West Yeezus, right? Yeah. So, that's all I had.
All right, cool. Well, let's see. Anybody saying anything in the comments?
Let's see. We got Blackfoot Vertical Smiles, which is just a bunch of photographs, basically, of it. Two virgins, Lennon and Yoko. Let's see. Eminem. The only Eminem I know are M&Ms. Elton John, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Yeah, I've told you that story about that artwork being thrown in a dumpster. Let's see. That's like every New Orleans. Pete Pardo sampling the Beastie Boys. These guys are hearing us talk about hip hop. Like, what is going on, guys?
Look, Gary Joyce. Wow, covering Kanye. Hey, we cover everything here in the Contrarians.
Yeah.
Gary Joyce, come on.
PIL metal box. Yeah, that's an interesting one, right? It's like, did they make the album cover, or did you get the actual tapes?
Yeah.
Are you the proud owner of the actual master tapes, kind of thing, right? So, and then we got Who by Numbers again. All right. So, what are we at Peter's final four?
Yeah.
Okay.
Though I'm not exactly sure how what he was thinking for the one of them, but maybe we'll figure it out together. So his number 7 was the Doors LA Woman. Of course, you remember the original pressings of that had like the cellophane, which was yellow, and you could pull out the band picture. I don't know how long that I know what that is, but he had for his number 8 the Beatles White Album, and I'm not sure what the angle was with that.
Well, you could imagine it's not a finished cover. They didn't name it even in a way. They were numbered, which is kind of interesting as well, right? So it's like the anti cover, right? It's like it's like the Black Album or whatever, right?
There were probably people who bought that record who thought that they got a bad one or one that's not finished or a pre-production copy of it or something. Test pressing.
Yeah, probably when it came out, they might have. Who knows? All right. So number 9 from Peter was Alice Cooper from the Inside, 1978.
Oh, did I? Well, I put it away. But yeah, and then along the same line, someone mentioned this, but School's Out's the same thing too. Is it an album cover? Is it a desk? Mine's just an album cover, but some of them were a desk, right? And of course, you never pass up an opportunity to show the.
Look, he's got the panties.
There you go.
My goodness.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. But I forget what happens when you open up
when
Alice's
4 guys are
face
together and someone says panties.
Yeah.
Well, we have to be careful.
Well, yeah, the Alice Cooper opens up and it's
I forget what's in there.
Cover, right? So it's crowd participation. It's it's an album cover with Doors, right?
Yeah. So Peter's number 10, of course, was School's Out. So we covered that. So mine, let me flip up here. What was I talking about? Oh, okay, I know what I'm talking about. Number 7, I have picked the Faces Ooh La La, which the top of the if I remember right, I don't have it. I've got the CD, but if you kind of open the top of it, his mouth would open and shut.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You don't see that one very often.
Oh,
I haven't seen it here.
And
I know someone in the chat mentioned this Kiss Double Platinum. Yeah, which most of the time you see a lot of wear on the double platinums because of whatever they used.
Yeah,
probably the same stuff they used on the monkey's head. It didn't wear very well. But there you go. My number 9, Sticks 2. Similar thing. The original pressings of Sticks 2. This was die cut, and you could
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the inner sleeve would have the band picture could come out.
Yeah,
but a lot of these, when you find these used, I mean, it's very like the X would, where the X comes together, they would rip. They were very fragile. I've never seen one that's totally intact.
Yeah,
from back in the day.
Man, that's a whole nother almost fascinating thing about this episode is how many of these die cuts I don't even remember ever being die cut.
Yeah,
and not anybody owning them. And like you say, they will and they can and are more valuable because they are so easily ruined, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't seen one of these in years, but back in the day I used to see them. My number 10, I'm going to go with Jethro Tull Stand Up, and I wish I have original UK pressing of this. Damn it, and I couldn't find it. But it'll open up, and then the band just pops up like a pop-up book, kind of like the Parliament record. Yeah, just kind of like what Todd showed us. So it'll just kind of pop up, and the band's right there going, "Hey," like in a cartoon form. It's kind of cool. Nice, fun. I wish I had it, but I couldn't find it. But nice. I think that's my number 10. I don't have anything else.
Okay.
We've got some time to burn if we want to look at some comments, I think.
Yeah, we've got Satanic Majesty. So you've got the reticulated there. So here we go. There we go. Nice.
Yes. Thank you, Jamie. A true professional.
Looking good. Yes, fragile CD is cool because when you open it, the CD lifts all the tray, makes it easier to grab.
Yeah, the Mobile Fidelity one does that. But that's more of a packaging thing. But yeah.
Wait a minute. On Jethro Tull?
No, Fragile on CD.
Yes, Fragile on CD. Oh,
a bunch of them. The MFSL CDs did that. They had a special box where it kind of handed it to you.
Okay, that. Yeah. I think that was there was a certain reissue on Atlantic that had the box. You remember those?
Mhm.
Kind of like a blue box, and you opened it up. I used to have one of those, but I don't have it anymore.
Someone has mentioned Kiss Elder. I'm Elder. Psycho Circus. I had this out. So yeah, so it's got the same thing. So is the album cover the clown, or is the album cover with the curtains closed, right? Curtains closed, clown, curtains closed, clown, right? Kind of thing, depending on how that works. So there you go. Grant, wrap it up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go.
How about
Album
this,
cover-
real quick?
Wait a minute. Wait. What?
You left your soda on the album, and it caused
Oh,
the
yeah.
stain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do have that.
Good.
All right. Well,
That's
we've
okay.
done
It's just a bootleg.
Yeah, it's just a bootleg.
Right.
It's supposed to look like that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. I want to thank everybody that popped into the chat tonight. We try to get to what we can get, but we only can do so much here. But the topic, album covers that break the fourth wall. Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment if we didn't get to you. Up next, I don't know what we're doing next weekend, but we will have something. We will be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, for any further ado, we can wrap this dog up. Gentlemen, I want to thank you all for coming. It's always a lot of fun talking music with you guys. And basically, all we're doing here, we're just trying to turn you on to stuff. That's all we're trying to do. So let us know. All right, gentlemen, we'll see you. Everybody in the chat, we'll see you
All
next
right.
week. All right,
Thanks again. See ya.
Bye.